going to talk about swing plane. Now, I'm sure most of you may have heard of the principle of a swing plane. Your swing plane is a principle of the golf swing that influences your swing path and your angle of approach into the ball, your ball striking skill. So there are two skills that really are affected in some way by the principle of swing plane. So I'm going to grab a pitching wedge here and just talk a little bit about how that affects, most notably, your swing path. Your club is on plane when the low end of the club, so right now the low end of my club is the head. When the low end of the club points at the target line, your club is on plane. So as you can see, the low end of my club obviously is pointing at the target line. The target line is represented by this orange stick, and then it's an imaginary line that goes forever back and then forever through to my target. Okay, so right now we're on plane. When I start to swing the club and I get up here somewhere, the low end of my club is now the grip end. Okay, so this club will be on plane if that grip end is pointing down on my target line here. And from where I'm standing, I can't see exactly where it is, but this may or may not be on plane. This is definitely off plane. Okay, so what happens is, and you may see this all the time, if you just go to a driving range and watch some people hit some balls, you will see eventually a swing where the club comes this way, where the low end is pointing way outside the target line, and then for the player to get back to the ball, they may make a swing where they have to change the angle of their shaft like this. That's where we get the term when people say I'm coming over the top. They get like this, and then to strike the ball, the club comes outside that target line and cuts across to in. So that's an out to in swing path, and a lot of it is caused by a bad swing plane. Now this is something you may want to have somebody just grab like an iPhone or something and take a quick picture of you or a video of you from this viewpoint and to see how you're doing before you go and take my advice in this video. But most people get their swing off plane very, very early in the swing process. And what they'll do is they'll set up to their ball, and the first move they make, or one of the first moves they make, will be something like this, where they change their wrist angle this way, and when they do that, they immediately get their club off plane or too far inside or laid off, all these different things we can call it. It's certainly not, the low end is not pointing at the target line, okay? So what can we do to fix that? When we start our swing, we want to turn our shoulders and maintain a position of our hands staying in front of our chest, like that. So you'll see, I did not make a move of my wrists working this way. Our wrists actually are going to work like this, and along with some forearm rotation, that's how we swing the club. All right? So how do we get out of this habit? All right, how do we get out of doing this? Well, one good way is to take your club, take the butt end of the club and stick it in your gut, in your belly, and just get started with turning your shoulders a little bit. See how I've got this triangle that my arms and my shoulders form? When I start back, I'm going to maintain that triangle. And then what I'll do is, and I'm going to switch sides so you can take a look here. So I've got the butt in my gut, my club head on top of that target line, turn, and as I continue turning, now you can see my club is now parallel to the ground and it's parallel to my target line. So the rest of that swing plane definition is a club is on plane when the low end of the club points at the target line, except for when there is no low end, and then your club is parallel to the target line. So once again, I'm going to stick the butt in my gut, come back here, and if I allow a little bit of a hinge, look what I get. Very close to being right on plane. All right, so this is a great drill for you to do. Now you're not going to be able to hit balls from here, but you can go ahead and get this move going. Then what I recommend as a drill for hitting balls, for getting started, hit some shots, It's called the toe up to toe up drill. Or we're going to get our shaft parallel to the target line and parallel to the ground. That's where this stick comes in handy. So we'll swing from the toe up position through to the toe up position. Now our toe doesn't have to be exactly up. You know, you can have it a little bit this way. That's something for another day. But it's going to be basically a toe up to toe up swing. And the way I do this is I will use a tee. And I'm going to tee up a ball right on this target line. I don't have it teed all the way to the ground. It's going to be relatively easy to hit. But I've got my ball on my predetermined target line. And I am just going to start with making a practice backswing. Okay, that was good. Many of you may see this start to happen. Okay, I let my wrist kind of flip over. I did one of these, right? So let's go back to our drill. Just like that. And then inevitably what will happen is when we go back to the ball, we're going to see this. Well, then we can fix it. Whoop, no good, let's fix it. Until finally, we start to get it right. And then we'll hit a couple shots and just get used to swinging through from here. Good, so you can use, I don't even have a name for this drill. You know, stick the butt end of that club in your gut and do that toe up to toe up drill, and that will really help you get your game into shape.